Phoenix Progressive School offers different electives to encourage its students to discover their passions and develop their skills and talents. After being initially devoted to banjo, graphic noveling, and breakdance, Molly doesn't pursue any of these. This honestly sounds like me with my ADHD. Noticing how Molly is not taking a clear path, Raymond, one of the teachers, encourages her to pick something, even if it's not part of the electives on offer. In English class, Ben Carter, Molly's English teacher, encourages Molly to recite her piece after Alicia recites hers. Unwilling to participate, Molly refuses, making an excuse. As they prepare for a school dance, Molly ingests acid together with her friends, Caitlin and Gala, and she photographs them with it on their tongues. It takes effect as Molly is taking photographs at the party, causing her vision to get blurry and making her feel dizzy. When Ben checks on her, she recites her piece at a rapid, uninterrupted pace and hurriedly exits the room. Ben finds her on a bench, and after Molly confesses what she has taken, he assures her that although it'll feel extreme for a while, it'll eventually come down. Shortly after, her dad arrives to pick her up. Although Ben doesn't disclose Molly's actions to her father, Evan Maxwell, upon their meeting, Evan notices that Molly seems to be in her own world, thinking nothing of it. He reminds her of her sleepover with her friends. With Ben not ratting her out to her father, he earns her good favor. She starts seeing him as someone she could be herself with, so much so that the morning after, she Googles Ben and finds out that he is in a band. Raymond once again discusses the elective program with Molly, but she shrugs it off and downplays its relevance, stating that she has a decent average. Although he acknowledges that she does have a point, he insists that she take an elective as the elective program is what makes Phoenix so special and different from regular schools. Still, without an elective in mind, Molly promises to figure something out as soon as possible. Molly embarks on a bus, following Ben, and strikes up a conversation with him. To help with her elective dilemma, Ben suggests photography, as he had seen her taking photos at the party. When she downplays her interest in photography, Ben cites Larry Wallace and encourages her to pick something she doesn't hate. Additionally, he assures her that she doesn't have to be pressured and be too focused on finding the right thing to be great at, reminding her that she's just 16. As soon as she reaches home, Molly looks up Larry Wallace and his work, and tells her supportive mother, Marilyn Maxwell, that she's considering photography for her elective. She informs Raymond of her decision, and suggests Ben to be the one supervising her as he seems to have a keen interest and broad knowledge in photography. Molly takes photos of her friends and family while Ben helps her develop the photos she took and critiques them. Evan brings Molly along to a bar to see Heidi Slater play, a new artist signed to Evan's label, Maxwell Music. Molly's face lights up upon seeing Ben at the bar, but quickly turns sour when he mentions that maybe Evan can introduce him to Heidi. Their elective collaboration allows Molly and Ben to get to know each other more, with Molly getting increasingly romantically drawn towards him. Wanting new subjects to shoot, Molly suggests that they make a field trip to her favorite place, Toronto Island. There, she takes a lot of photos, including Ben's. At sunset, Ben gently convinces her that she isn't a waste of film and takes a photo of her on their way home. However, Ben tells her not to develop the photos they took on the island, keeping the Ben details of the trip a secret. Molly tells her family and friends that she went to the island alone, and Marilyn grounds her for not calling. Although annoyed about her punishment, her face lights up as she recalls the days she spent with Ben as she's holding the trip's negatives. In class, Ben seems to distance himself from Molly, who gets jealous of Jordan Dunhill, a Toronto filmmaker whom Ben brought in for their class to show them her modern take on Macbeth. She later stalks Ben's social media and goes through his photos. Noticing a change in Molly's behavior, Marilyn helps and provides her with options to keep her safe throughout her explorations, although Molly denies any forms of it. On a visit to a gynecologist, Molly asks if she's supposed to confess her feelings to the guy she likes, to which the gynecologist responds that if it was her, she'll let him know. With this, Molly leaves a letter on Ben's table. If only the doctor knew that the man is way too old for her. Molly attends the talent night and forces Ben to perform. As he sings and plays the guitar, Caitlin admits to Molly that she now finds Ben sexy and jokingly says that maybe she should pursue him. Molly shrugs her comments off and takes a photo of him. In the morning, Evan wakes Molly up and tells her that he had a drink with Ben, and they talked about the music industry. When Molly asks if he mentioned her, Evan tells her that Ben said she's super cool. Later, for their family's Easter activity, she finds the phone her dad bought for her, which upsets Marilyn. Before Molly meets Caitlin and Gala, She stops by Ben's place to drop off the framed photo she took of him as he was singing at the talent night. After giving Molly a couple of books he borrowed from Jordan, he invites her in, breaking the awkward silence. Ben tells Molly he needs to go and she tells him she has to go too as she's meeting the girls. However, before she leaves, she exposes herself to Ben, revealing more than what a teacher should see from a student of his. Ben walks towards her, hugging her as if trying to control himself, as he knows that it's wrong. He takes a couple of steps back, and Molly covers herself. Knowing that Molly's reason for being late for their meetup is a lie, Caitlin confronts her and asks what the real reason is. Molly tells her friends and mama about a guy named Spencer, a guy from Puckdale who plays the trumpet and is part of the gifted program. Marilyn invites Spencer over so the family can meet him, but Molly refuses to introduce him. Molly feels excited to go to school, and Molly and Ben share glances, unbeknownst to her peers. In the dark room, Ben checks on Molly's photography progress, as well as how she's feeling after what happened. Molly admits feeling scared, but lets her know that she can come over to his place if she wants to. Using the Spencer excuse, Molly gets to ditch her friends to meet Ben, who gives in to her advances but makes sure not to go too far. Meanwhile, Caitlin confronts Molly about her always being missing in action since she started having a boyfriend, but Molly denies ditching them, saying she has just been very busy. Additionally, she denies doing the deed with him. In the middle of the night, Molly takes out one of the toys her mother bought her, but upon discovering how loud it is, she turns it off and goes to sleep. Ben meets with Molly's parents, informing them about Molly's improvement in class and in her elective. He insists that she shows her parents the photos she took and developed, which she does, but she quickly dismisses them. At Ben's place, Ben asks Molly about the excuses she makes whenever she goes to see him and expresses his concern about their affair. They start kissing again, but Ben stops her advances, telling her that their clothes must stay on. Shortly after, Ben avoids Molly in school and even scolds her in his class, sending her to Raymond. Clueless about why he's mad at her, Molly projects her anger to her family. Furthermore, contrary to Ben's request, Molly develops the photos from the trip, but quickly hides Ben's photo when he comes in. Shortly after making up in the darkroom, Raymond comes in and checks Molly's photos. Growing suspicious, Raymond summons Ben and asks him questions. Ben later talks to Molly, expressing his concern about their affair coming to light and the possibility of him going to jail. He ends things with Molly, asking her to clear out her phone, but they end up getting intimate, with Molly expressing her honest desire to sleep with him, although they are both only in their undergarments. Ben refuses to go further as it feels wrong to do so. Upset, Molly storms out, heads to a party where she projects her anger onto her friends, and rides a random guy's pole in one of the house's rooms. She later texts Ben, informing him of what she has done as her way of resolving the situation they're in. Ben responds, telling her that he hopes her experience was magical and that he's glad he risked everything for her. She spends the night throwing up, suffering a hangover, and ignoring Ben's texts. Raymond arranges a meeting with Molly, Mr. and Mrs. Maxwell, and a police officer, where he informs Molly that Ben has resigned. The police officer brings out the photo she took of Ben on the island, stating that it's not within school premises. When Raymond explains to her that the trip was a serious offense, Molly says nothing happened other than them taking photos. Molly strongly opposes pressing charges against Ben, assuring them that no one took advantage of her. Evan goes through her phone, suggesting they call Spencer, but Marilyn opposes, saying she knows who Spencer is and that they don't need to drag him into the issue. The issue is spread and Molly's pierced eyes are on her when she enters the room. She later receives an email from Ben, telling her that he's playing at the Piston. She prepares to go meet him, but Evan doesn't allow her to leave as she's grounded. She sees her mom going through the photos she took and developed, and finds her staring at the photo Ben took of her. Marilyn gently discusses the issue with Molly, making her understand the severity of the situation and how inappropriate the relationship is. Instead of throwing judgment, Marilyn allows Molly to learn from it and returns her phone, allowing her to leave and settle what she needs to. At the bar, Ben thanks Molly for not pressing charges and Molly apologizes for everything. That is the end of the movie. I honestly don't know how to feel about this one. The mother was very forgiving and nonchalant about her daughter having an affair with a teacher. I would have been appalled. There was a moment in the movie that did show the mom had gifted her daughter a toy. What are your thoughts on this idea? At least the mom is open and realistic with her daughter. However, I really think Ben shouldn't have gotten off so easily. He deserved more of a punishment. Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications and leave a like. It really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.